He was supposed to be there, and he wasn't there. That's what happened. What do we say? What does happen usually in a meeting room when that happens? You hear?
That's when you're backing the bus up over him. That's all. What's up, everybody? Sorry we missed you last week.
But we're back.
It was a short week, big game, championship game, but just want to welcome you guys all back. Episode 15, Season 2, double coverage with the McCourty twins. Jason, Devin, we're both here. As you guys know, you can find us, if you want the video version, YouTube, audio version.
Mama,
iTunes.
we made it.
There we go. iTunes, Spotify, whatever it is, you can find us there. And as always, keep up with us on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at McCourty Twins. Quick shout out to our partners here at Double Coverage, Boston Medical Center, and Embrace Kids Foundation. As you guys know, who have been with us along these past 2 seasons, we partnered together to tackle sickle cell. And you can learn more at
TackleSickleCell.org.
And also shout out to our friends over at NormaTec. NormaTec recovery systems are helping athletes to push boundaries and exceed their goals, recover faster, increase circulation, and conquer those sore muscles. Athletes nowadays with NormaTec are redefining their potential. And as you know, NormaTec, ultimate recovery for today's athlete. All you got to do is visit www.normatecrecovery.com. Go pick you up a pair of those boots.
It could be like
the shoulders.
You could be like Dew.
All of it.
Dew had to drive all the way home to get his NormaTec the night before the game.
Just to make
sure.
Says
he can't go to sleep without NormaTecing first.
Got to get right.
All right, what did we miss? We missed you last week.
What we got?
So we're obviously not going to do a whole rendition of the show you missed.
No one wants to see a
but
2-hour show.
We're going to keep you up to date. So Joe Burrow, Mr. LSU, Mr. Louisiana, wins the Heisman, brings home the Heisman.
Will he be the first pick of the draft?
He might. You know why? He's obviously very good. He's talented. He gets the Tom Brady comparisons all the time. But what I like is the kid is gutsy.
Got the swag?
He's gutsy. He'll run some. He won't run you over every time, but if it's 3rd and 8 and he got 7, he's gonna try to run you over. The man, like he's battle tested. Like I don't watch much college.
Cincy?
Yeah, I'm not sure. You're actually the wrong person. Well, we're still deciding that. Oh, for you guys who not know, you can't see.
It is a Sunday
but I don't know if you
afternoon.
can feel like we look just more lit today. Usually we film and we do this all at night, but it is currently Sunday.
2:53.
We'll call it 3 p.m. Some games are coming off halftime. If we get any breaking news, J-Mac is tracking it. My man Kev's tracking it behind the computer. So we will try to keep you updated. But we got a lot going on today, Sunday. So we don't know who the first pick
Sunday fun day.
We don't know who the first pick of the draft are. But all of these games have some type of implication. Playoff implication.
Draft implication.
Draft picks implication. So big
Vacation
Sunday in NFL.
implication.
Vacation. Some people are going home. The Rams just found out next week. Vacation starts after next week. We will get more
fishing.
We will get more into that game a little later.
We also miss Navy beats Army.
When did we know Army lost? When Army went on college countdown. I forgot what that's called. Game day countdown.
There you go.
Whatever it's called. And they decided that they will pull out their tank. And my older brother, was in the Army, so he was big go Army. And they ran over a Navy helmet, which I thought was awesome. But then they went and gave it to Roger Staubach. I mean,
didn't fare too well.
Roger Staubach.
Navy beat the brakes off him too.
Yeah, I mean,
Uniform.
Shout out Joe Cardona though.
Yeah, Navy man.
I can't really pick. I like both schools. But Joe Cardona held it down. He wore a very dope sweater.
No, the Navy cardigan.
Yes,
he wore that last year too.
That was clean.
Yeah.
That was definitely clean.
A Navy man. This is the time of the year you saw a few vets get released late in the season, and I don't know if it's the vets wanting to get away. I mean, obviously,
want to get away.
Janoris Jenkins obviously
wanted to get away.
They said he was very excited when he found out the Giants were going to release him. Had some comments via social media that I wasn't too fond of, and a lot of people
put it this way:
if
we were here last week, he would have lost the weekend.
He would have lost the weekend,
For
but
sure.
he would have in turn won the weekend because I think he was trying. He pulled the Antonio Brown. Do enough that the team finally has to get rid of you, and you.
I don't like my job, so I want a new job.
You can get to where you want to get, but I don't think he'll follow in AB's footsteps. He's probably going to try to stay where he's at. But time will tell. But like you just said, Jackrabbit Janoris Jenkins finds a new home in New Orleans. And then we had Terrell Suggs released in Arizona, finds a new home
in Kansas City.
So 2 guys now go from teams that
we're about to go on vacation next week.
And they might have already had their family vacations, but got to put it on hold because they'll be playing playoff football.
Going to the playoffs.
For sure, for sure. Who do you think will make a bigger impact out of those 2 on their new teams? We were just watching a little bit of that Saints-Titans game. Not much action for Janoris Jenkins just yet. But
Eli Apple got hurt in the game, so depending on his status, that could really get Jackrabbit in there. I'm going to go with Terrell Suggs, though.
How hard is it, though, at this point in the season? You're going into week 16.
No, it's not hard.
To join a team and be able to make an impact.
Not hard.
Would you say
Jenkins get called upon?
Would you say it's position-based?
But, yeah. I mean, definitely. But Janoris Jenkins get called, and we got to catch him up in the secondary, our communication, our vocabulary. But the bottom line, we need you to cover.
When you can cover,
bring you in there to cover. Terrell Suggs will bring
you in get the quarterback.
And hold the edge. So what guys do well, they just have to go do. James Wiseman pulls a plug on the whole college thing. He was like, man,
Penny gave me to play?
Penny gave me some money. I moved from Memphis he moved from Nashville, right?
Yep.
Nashville to Memphis so I could play some high school ball. Then I decided to come to Memphis. I'm ready to rock with Memphis. Suspend me, then I'm not suspended. Then I got 4 games. He was like, you know what? I'm just going to train and then go be the number 1 pick in the draft. So I'm out of here. And I'm not mad at him. Who wants to deal with all that?
That $11,000 will be easy to pay back a few months from now. So shout out James.
He left. You ain't paying that back.
You still don't. You may still have to, no?
Why? What are they going to penalize him with?
Maybe
he didn't earn a degree. Were they going to hold his degree?
Shout out Newton football winning the state title.
Newtown football in Connecticut won a state title on the 7th.
I'm not a New Englander. I mean, I'm still.
That's why I'm teaching you. That's why I took over this whole segment so you didn't blow this.
Is it 2 words or 1 word?
It's 1 word. It's Newtown.
Well, I feel like if it's going to be Newtown, we should make it 2 words.
No, not right now. Doesn't matter. Newtown winning a state champion on the 7th anniversary of the shooting in Newtown at the elementary school, and it was pretty awesome. A couple years ago, we got to go and hold a football clinic right in town. So a lot of kids who knew someone that was affected by the Sandy Hook shooting. So we got to do that. And it's probably pretty safe to say that some of the kids we probably got to be around at that clinic playing football were probably on this state championship team.
Awesome.
So great job of these young men persevering, going out there and playing and bringing, which is a tough time, I'm sure, for everyone in that area, bringing some positivity. I saw them. They were with on the Sunday night countdown last week. They were over there with Rodney Harrison and
Tony
Dungy, where they were talking about the win, the last call. The coach was talking about it. So pretty special moment for everyone in Connecticut.
Awesome to see what sports continues to do throughout the lives of so many and make huge impact, no matter professional, amateur. Sports are an awesome way to bring and unite people.
Has a big impact on the community. Definitely does.
This week, Pro Bowl rosters were set throughout the league. There's always, whenever the Pro Bowl comes out, now I had this argument with Van Noy. Obviously, he didn't make the Pro Bowl. We were talking about, because, all right, for you guys that don't know, there's the Pro Bowl roster of the original, however many guys it is that make the Pro Bowl. And then there's Pro Bowl alternates. In the event that the guy that makes it is hurt, possibly playing in the Super Bowl, which this guy has experienced quite a few times, for whatever reason, can't make it to the Pro Bowl, you already have alternates in place. And I had an argument with KV about when you're an alternate, do you go if you're called upon going because you didn't make the original? And like the fact of the matter is there's some snubs always, because there's always going to be error when, no offense, fans are picking, and there's always going to be error when players are picking, because a lot of players, I won't say most, but a lot of players don't really study the game. Some guys just like are good.
Well, they
study my opponent.
Well, they study the game, but they study who they're going to play.
Yes. And then the way we vote is depending upon team and how you do stuff. Sometimes you have, like me, myself, I'll go in and I'll have to vote for an offensive lineman to make the Pro Bowl. I have no idea what a good offensive lineman makes. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of guys that are Pro Bowl worthy that don't end up making it, which stinks. I felt like what I was upset about, I saw this on Twitter. Somebody said we, I think, are like the whatever ranked defense and whatever accolades and all that have come across throughout this season. We only had 2 players to make the Pro Bowl from the defense side of the ball. And you have so many guys that I felt like, from the Van Noy to yourself to the Jamie Collins, of guys that are worthy. And like the sleeper was, this guy Gerald Jackson has 5 interceptions.
Better known as J.C. Jackson.
You know what I mean? Has 5 picks, but it was still cool to see Steph Hightower and Mr.
Yellow
Pro
Jacket
Bowl
Slate.
himself, Matthew Slater, make the Pro Bowl. He set a record, right?
Yeah, I think eight straight Pro Bowls.
Not eight
Oh,
straight,
not
eight
but
total.
8 total. Yeah, special team Pro Bowls.
Sets a
So
record. And I think does him and
his dad have the most
Pro Bowls,
combined.
father and son.
Yeah.
Man,
So
that's an elite family right there.
always cool to see teammates make it to the Pro Bowl. And like you said, there's always going to be snubs. Former teammate Logan Ryan doesn't make it. He has had one heck
tackles,
of a season.
3 sacks, 4 picks.
He's just been all over the place, leading the league in pass breakups, or he was.
He's at the top. I don't think he's
at the top of the league in pass. So another great, but like you just said, there's always going to be guys in and some guys out. So it is what it is.
For sure.
Everybody wants to play in one game.
For sure.
Drew Brees breaks another Peyton Manning record. Touchdown passes. Peyton was at 538 or 539. Then Drew took it to 541. Now Tom's at 539. So basically, Peyton Manning set a bunch of crazy records, and Tom and Drew Brees are just continuing to run them down.
Longevity is one heck of a thing, man.
These dudes continue to just sling the rock. We was just watching Titans jumped out 14-zip, looking good. Drew Brees hits Jared Cook on a 61-yard touchdown.
Jared Cook, 2009 Tennessee Titans draft class with myself. Going back to Nashville, making a bang.
I encourage everyone, don't take it for granted. The last couple years that we get to watch Tom Brady and Drew Brees continue to break records, they are still two
old guys
goats.
that still can get it
Two
done.
old goats.
Speaking of another old guy, Tom Coughlin, relieved of his duties in Jacksonville. Now, I don't know. I'm not in Jacksonville. I'm not in Duval County, so I don't know everything that went down, but I do log on to Twitter and I do read the articles. They say Tom Coughlin fined Fowler $700,000 for missed rehab and treatment during the offseason, and that he also fined Leonard Fournette, the number was $99,000, for sitting on the bench while being inactive during a game. That is
team rules are
insane.
team rules. We take it serious here.
And now, for those that don't know, so sometimes you get fined by a team, and a lot of times if a player disagrees, we can go through our players' union and file a grievance against the team. So in the past 2 seasons, 1/3 of all grievances that are filed to the NFLPA from all 32 teams, 1/3 of them, they said, came from Jacksonville in the last 2 seasons.
So do you think the Jets are trying to catch him? Because they've had quite a few grievances with injury stuff.
Hey, I hope not, because it doesn't seem like that's the recipe to keep your job.
So
Tom Coughlin, a guy who's had a heck of a career, though.
But does Tom Coughlin now kind of become the black sheep? Like, oh, we were in the Super Bowl, but now it's not working. It's Tom Coughlin's fault. We'll fire him.
We were in
and
the
now
AFC Championship game.
That's what I said. Did I not
I
say
said Super Bowl.
Oh, I meant AFC Championship.
A game away.
So,
but you got a couple that with the fact
are they scapegoating them?
You got a couple that with the fact that you're a game away from the Super Bowl, and 2 years later
you lost a lot of those
you're
guys.
amongst the teams vying for top draft picks. So you took a spike up, but then you're right back to where you were. So hey, it's the NFL.
Shout out Tom Coughlin, Boston College guy, good friends with our high school coach, Coach Carson. So much respect to Tom Coughlin.
Yeah. In the community, it's the holiday season.
Everyone's doing something.
Devin, myself, Kyle Van Noy took 20 kids from the Key program shopping at Target in Plainville. Massachusetts. Had a great time interacting with the kids. Met a guy by the name of Bubba who told Kyle Van Noy that he was trash and that he was a big Dolphins fan. But it was a pretty cool event. We got a chance to hang out and was able to partner with my buddy Brandon Copeland, who plays for the New York Jets, his foundation, Beyond Basics Foundation. We were able to partner and find a way to raise money to get these kids opportunity. Each kid had $200 and a chance to go shopping and buy themselves gifts.
It was awesome because it was some high school kids, and these kids were sharp, man. Like, they were on it. I call my guy. He went and got all his basic essentials, man. He got his wife beaters. He got his T-shirts. He got some socks, some underwear. I'm like, man, we got to get you something, like, nice. So I forced him to get some Beats, some I don't know, one of the Beats earbud things. I forced him. I said you have to. I said if it's over, we gotta get you something for yourself. So
the girls was in. Some of the older girls are in there picking makeup. I was like,
Yeah,
I can't do this. I can't do this. I
Yeah,
got
get
young
out of
daughters.
there.
I
The
can't
foreshadowing
envision this.
hurt. The foreshadowing scared you a little bit.
For sure. So we did that on a Monday. Tuesday, Dev hosted, along with the New England Patriots, a shopping event at Bass Pro Shops. I don't know how many kids. It was a ton of kids there.
Yeah, I think 50 kids.
50 kids who
it was awesome.
$400 to spend at Bass Pro
between
Shops.
current players and all of the alumni all come out and take these kids shopping at Bass Pro Shop. They got coats, they got
Hat,
toys,
gloves,
they got
a gift for somebody else. Those were the guidelines. And
yeah.
then,
So I finished last. I had two young girls, 11 and 12, Jayla and Nevaeh, and they worked me now. They worked me. It was a good thing I called them.
I saw a clip that they said you were kind of tough to shop with.
Oh, she went on TV and was like, I was bossy, and I was telling her what to do, telling her that she had to get a coat. But all I did was lead. She told me, she said, when we get upstairs, the first thing I want to do is get a coat. She saw a hat first, and she just totally forgot about the coat. It took us a while.
You're just holding her. You're just making her
I wanted
accountable.
to make sure, yes. But the reinforcements came in. My wife came, my daughter, and my son. When my wife and daughter came.
Well, I had your son.
Yeah, you had him. When my wife and daughter came, though, they started listening to me more. They was like, all right, he got something going on. We can listen to him. So it worked out well. We had a great time. We finished last in shopping, but we had a great time. They bought multiple gifts for people, and I thought that was awesome.
Awesome to see.
7 gifts for other people between
Speaking
the two.
of community, Kyle Van Noy named the 2019 Walter Payton Man of the Year, a guy that never stops. He actually just hosted his Christmas event where he gives away Christmas trees, decoration, toys, just a ton. He's just always doing something in the community. When we did the Target event, reached out to him. He wanted to be there. He was all for it. So he's a guy that never says no to helping people. So extremely happy and proud. And you guys got to make sure you go on Twitter and your hashtag, and I think it's what? WPOY Van Noy for Walter Payton Man of the Year, and continue to vote for him.
Should I double check that?
I know it. WPOY, and you got to add the Van Noy in there so you know you're voting for him.
And follow him on Twitter. Let me look up his Twitter handle because he's trying to win this thing. So if you follow him, he's been giving away tickets. He's been doing a bunch of different things. So you actually might have a chance to end up at one of these playoff games just by following him and retweeting. Just at KVN _03 at KVN _03. And you have a chance. Maybe we'll see you at Miami or a playoff game.
All right, let's talk about football for a little bit. Past 2
Jason.
weeks, we'll start with the game in Cincinnati on the road, coming off back-to-back losses. Like we said before we headed out there, it was the get back on track game, going against a team that wasn't playing for much as far as postseason, but obviously a team that's still fighting to build culture. And they came out ready to go.
They came out there rumbling, mumbling.
Joe Mixon, a really, really talented running back, but we were able to make a few plays.
I would call Joe Mixon a headache.
Yes.
Him and Nick Chubb are headaches.
Yeah.
You leave the game with
Downhill.
a headache.
Yeah. But shout out to Stephon Gilmore and J.C. Jackson, really kind of helping flip that game around, especially Gilly Locke getting a huge third down stop, then starting the third quarter with a pick, then getting a pick six, and J.C. picking off the deep ball. It was fun to watch for me, not playing, but being on the sideline, still a part of that cornerback group and seeing those guys.
Yeah, we know
if
you watch, Jay's always the first one jumping on the sideline, going crazy. So he definitely stays locked into the game.
For sure.
That's what he does.
So, obviously, get back on the track, on the road. And before I get to the next game, shout out to our fans who had a huge presence in Cincinnati.
Yeah. Not just at the game. Saturday when we got in, it was cold. Fans were standing outside the hotel, inside.
Everywhere.
So they definitely drove down to Cincy, and I'm sure we have some fans just currently staying in Cincy as well.
Dang, I forgot my AFC East champ hat, man. That's not like me.
That's not. You're getting used to this stuff,
Yeah,
man.
I don't want to be like the rest of you. But before we talk about the game,
Man, you just said before we talk about the game, I was supposed to talk about the game.
you're right. This is about the game.
Okay.
Dev shows up to the game with an old school throwback Curtis Martin jersey.
Man, he actually tweeted me, man.
He tweeted you, man.
Shout out Curtis Martin.
Jersey was really cool, and I'll share the story. No, you share the story. Why a Curtis Martin jersey to the game?
Went on fanatics.com, and I was like, man, like, let me see what throwbacks they got. and I saw the Curtis Martin. I was like, gotta get it. When I was young, growing up, Curtis Martin played, but after he played here, he played for the Jets, and I used to watch him. And I grew up in New York, so the Jets were always on TV on CBS, usually at that 1 o'clock slot. And I would watch him like, man, this dude's a good player. So I found out the Jets facility address, and I wrote him a letter and told him, I was a twin, loved playing football, someday wanted to play in the NFL. And Curtis Martin sent me 3 signed rookie cards back and wrote a little note and said, this is for you, your twin brother, and a neighbor, and good luck. I'm like, dang, this dude is awesome. Like, he's in the NFL. And then once I made it to the NFL, I'm like, man, like, he had time to, like, go through and send back. So I wanted to definitely show him some love. And I felt like it was special to do it in my 10th year now in the NFL, which isn't always promised to be in the NFL for 10 years. To do it, it was a great feeling just for obviously what he represents and how many great stories I've heard about him as a person. So big shout out to Curtis Martin. And then it happened on a good night. Wrapped up the AFC East Division title.
Champs.
And this year was special. We've wrapped up some of these playing against other teams, but this was like a true championship game. Like
last year, we wrapped up the division, same week, same team, similar situation.
Yeah, but that was even different because
But this year was different.
Because this year, I know we won the division no matter what.
But if not, we would have had a chance to win it the next week.
But this was like a championship game against it was the number 1 seed in the division versus number 2 seed.
It was old school college conference championship week.
Yeah, so it was good. And every time we play these guys, they are tough. They fight you, and when we go into these games, we talk about they're a tough football team, and we have to try to out-tough them. And it's a battle. Yeah. It's hard to do that against.
What was cool is it was, and Bill said it leading up to the game, it was going to be a playoff game. And these games down the stretch are all playoff games. I know sometimes people hear that and they're just like, oh, here they go. Yeah. And they're building it up. But no, it is a playoff game because you win this game, you win your division. All right, boom. Now you have the division, you get a home game. But you win this next game and you stay in a 1 or 2 seed. So now you get a bye week the first week. So essentially you won your first playoff game by not having to play in the wild card round. Right. So that's why these games down the stretch become playoff games, because of what the implications are and what they bring, an opportunity for your team to rest up. So speaking of that, Miami coming into town next week.
It's like we talked about with Cincy, another dangerous team. And you see them right now. Can you look up the score? They're actually playing Cincinnati today, and at one point they were up 21-3. This is a team who's finding themselves. Like they're searching to build their culture. They're trying to play football the right way. And you see
28-6.
They're up 28-6 right now. And I'm sure they're going to come here and they want.
Baltimore's up 21-6. Come on, Cleveland.
They want to close the season out the right way.
New Orleans is up 23-14.
Come on, Lowe. Step up, Lowe. We need to play. But and I think they want to play that way. And you watch them; they play tough. They're in a lot of games. Even watching the Buffalo game, like that was a fight for them to go down to Miami and play against those guys. So,
I think like you always say, when you get to this time of the year, you're trying to be trending upwards as far as playing your best football, no matter who your opponent is. I just think about last year. We go on the road, we lose to Miami, followed by we go on the road, we lose to Pittsburgh, and then we come at home and we play with people would deem not good football teams, the Bills and the Jets last year, who weren't going to the playoffs. But we play solid football in those last 2 games, and that catapults us into the playoffs, and we go on a streak there.
Because I think, like you said, it doesn't matter who you play, because that's what the play. You don't know who you're going to play.
Yeah.
You might play this team, you might play that, but no matter what, you have to play good football or you will lose. So it's been really good to get that mindset, and we got to keep pushing. But we had some special weeks in sports. We had the Antetokounmpo brothers. I'm not sure of all their first names, but 2 play for the Bucks. Giannis and Thanius. And I'm not sure the other one that plays for the Lakers. But they had a picture. They all holding up jerseys. And then last weekend, you had Pittsburgh playing against Buffalo.
The Edmunds
and you
brothers.
had the 3 Edmunds brothers playing together. Obviously, we're twins. We play together. So we're always going to promote brothers going out there and sharing that field together, or the court and the arena together, as teammates or on the opposite side.
For sure.
Great family thing. So big shout out to both of those families, man.
It was cool to see Eli Manning back in the lineup. Danny Dimes high ankle sprain, doesn't play last week. Eli gets back out there.
And it got the dub against Miami.
Yeah, and it brings up the question, though. Phillip Rivers, Eli Manning came in the same year. You remember, that was the same year, right?
Yeah.
And you remember all the stuff with
Eli didn't want to go to San Diego.
Yeah. And or was that Ryan Leaf?
No, it was
Okay.
Eli.
And all of that stuff transpires, and now you think about how long and really solid careers both of them have, Hall of Fame, all of that in discussion. But then you look at it right now, it's like, is this the last year that you see Eli Manning in a New York Giants jersey? And is the last year that you see Phillip Rivers in a Charger uniform? Like,
it could be a high likelihood.
Yeah, these great runs come to an end, but really it's been a blast.
But we just talked about Drew and Tom. Like, enjoy these quarterbacks. I think fan bases get spoiled. They have these guys who win. You talk about Eli, 2 Super Bowls. Drew Brees, Super Bowls. Tom Brady, Super Bowls. Phillip Rivers has a ton. He's never been able to win a Super Bowl, but he has a ton of numbers, won games there. And, like, people don't know what the change in the culture will be
How
next.
long,
Like, you don't know. Like, you look at Indy, Peyton leaves, you get Andrew Luck, and it seems like everything's going to be great, and it never gets to where it was. Yeah. And then he retires. Now you get Jacoby. You don't know what the future is, even though I think the future's bright. Shout out my man Jacoby. But, like, you just have to enjoy these moments of having these really great elite quarterbacks.
And it's been a blast competing against those guys. And like we said earlier, the Rams officially eliminated from the playoffs. How hard is it because this Rams team last year, you look at it, and even this year, it's built to win now. They traded 2 first-round picks for Jalen Ramsey, but got a key, Marcus Peters, Ndamukong Suh, added Weddle. The last 2 years, they've just been drafting and adding firepower. But speak to that. How hard is it to go from, you've gone to 3 straight Super Bowls. You win the one in Houston, correct? Then you go and you fall short in Minnesota. And then last year to go and you win it all in Atlanta again. But now, well, you don't know what the playoffs is going to bring, but you have a shot. You have a shot. You know what I mean?
It's hard, man. I think we're fortunate here is that we have a good amount of guys that have that culture and that they understand that and they know what they need to do. They're pushing forward. But it's tough to do that year in and year out to push forward and try to be the best team you can be. So it's exciting, and we see it so far. Like, the playoff picture's kind of fallen in stone. You got five spots secured in the AFC. The NFC is very similar. Minnesota's in. Green Bay is in. You don't know how it's going to play out between Seattle and San Fran. They're both in, but who wins the division?
It's always fun to see who the new teams are. Buffalo will be in the playoffs this year. Wasn't there last year. Pittsburgh is on the cusp. Wasn't there last year.
Or the Titans could get in. The same thing.
Wasn't there last year. You know what I mean? It's all Green Bay wasn't there last year. They're at the top this year. San Fran. It's always cool to see the new teams that are in the race.
And it's always interesting to see those new teams from a year ago or 2 years ago. Do they stay in the playoff hunt? Mm-hmm. The Rams, the Jaguars, who were in it too. Mm-hmm. Like, how hard it is to sustain success. Really hats off to the teams that continue to be in there. You talk about the Saints now, the Kansas Cities now, the Houstons, us, teams that continue to build and try to be there.
And as you talk about how hard it is to do so and build, I just saw a stat today. The Cleveland Browns will play their game today, and they literally have 0 first-round draft picks from 2013 to 2017 that will be playing in the game today.
You have a list?
Yep. Mingo, who was here, Barkevius Mingo, is on the Texans now. Justin Gilbert is not in the league. Johnny Manziel is not in the league. Danny Shelton plays for the Patriots. Cameron Irvin plays for the Chiefs. Corey Coleman is on IR for the Giants. Myles Garrett is suspended watching the game somewhere. Jabril Peppers plays for the Giants. And David Njoku is inactive today as he is on IR.
Is he back on IR or is he a healthy scratch?
Or maybe a healthy scratch.
Yeah,
I know he got activated all. But either way, 2013 to 2017.
You would hope those would be a lot of your core players.
And the crazy thing is, only 2 of the guys are even still on the team. Like, they're not playing, but 2 of the guys the rest of them are either
life
out of the
happens
league or
fast
other teams.
in this league.
It's insane. It's
so important. It shows how important it is to draft well and draft guys who fit your system
and develop them. But like you just said, when you talk about life comes at you fast, what was going through the fans' mind when Isaiah Thomas walked from the court and walked into the stands and told Buddy, don't do that?
Did you see what Isaiah Thomas said after the game?
Mm-mm.
So Isaiah Thomas is shooting a free throw, and he said he misses the first free throw, And after he misses the first free throw, the guy starts heckling him, sticks 2 middle fingers up, and calls him a boop, boop. We won't repeat those words he said.
Please don't.
And now the timeout's called. So Isaiah Thomas calmly walks through the court, 2 or 3 rows of courtside seats into like the first 2 rows behind those. And he's like,
don't do that.
come on, man, don't do that.
You're a fan. Don't do that.
Don't be disrespectful, man. Be a fan.
What
I'm
I
a
love
man
about
first.
that is that,
And you know what the guy said to him? Man, I'm so sorry. I just wanted a Frosty.
so what I love about that,
In the arena, if somebody misses 2 free throws, you get. So the guy did that just to win a Frosty.
but that's what I love about it, because you go to these games and different fans, I won't say a majority, because a lot of fans go enjoy the game and do everything the right way. But you're talking this tough game, and you're effing this and you're that and whatever it is you're saying. And as soon as the man walks into the stands, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean anything by it. But like, you didn't mean it. You just called him whatever name that you called him. You didn't mistakenly do that.
Unnecessary.
So I think that's.
But
Still haven't learned from the malice at the palace.
But Isaiah Thomas was ejected because you are not allowed to walk into the stand. So
Because of.
the malice at the palace. Yeah. Well, I mean,
He didn't throw any haymakers, though, so it wasn't
We get
bad.
it.
Who is the best player in the NBA right now?
From watching that game, we might have to
Greek
say
Freak.
Giannis, man.
But I
was a
would
heck of a
say
game.
faces of the NBA, Luka is on his way.
Yes.
Luka Donovan.
Some really great young players. So I don't watch a ton of the NBA early part of the season because it's just like 82 games. NBA has proposed, having some type of tournament. We'll see how it plays out. Not a lot in there. Seemed kind of silly, but we'll see how it all plays out. Who knows? Now we have to get to this. If you have not seen it, after the game, the Rams and the 49ers played. Like I said to you, we're coming to you Sunday afternoon. They played last night, Saturday night game, and the Rams give up a big play late in the game to Emmanuel Sanders. And the reporter asked Jalen Ramsey, so what happened on the play between you and Eric? He says, that wasn't Eric. Eric was on the other side. It was Rat. He said, we was playing a former 2-man. We made an adjustment. I played my technique right. He was supposed to be there, and he wasn't there. That's what happened. What do we say? What does happen usually in a meeting room when that happens? You hear, boop,
That's when you're backing the bus up over him. And that's always tough, because I would assume exactly what he's saying
It's
is
true.
what happened on the play.
Definitely.
But it's just like, you just try to protect your guys when it comes down to that.
And I think ultimately, though, it's not even protecting. It's protecting your unit.
Yeah.
Because, like, the secondary is as good as you play as a group. It doesn't matter if you have one good guy and everybody else gets killed. Like, you have to be solid as a group. So if someone makes a mistake, if it's one person's fault, if it's 2 people's fault, if it's miscommunication, like, we didn't play that play right,
Yeah.
and we gave up a big play that cost us.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that. Like you just said, man, you want to try to, stick up for your teammates in the best way possible. And I think that's just like one of those situations where you look at it and the Rams are struggling. You get eliminated from the playoffs. It's just
tough.
that type
Yep.
of, a lot of guys are frustrated.
And they asked him that, like, when you came here, did you expect to be playing in the
Disappointed.
playoffs? He said, sure.
And that's what people
Definitely.
don't realize. You finish those games, you come in the locker room, a coach will speak for maybe 5 minutes at most. You break it down. And about the next 2 minutes, media is in the locker room and in your face.
I don't know exactly when this clock hits, but you got 10 minutes from when everyone's in the locker room. You got 10 minutes until media comes in.
So sometimes emotions are still high. It's
Yes.
tough. So you gotta sometimes factor that in when you hear guys and you see some of their interviews. But any chance Andrew Luck makes a comeback? I saw reports like, the Colts are kind of holding out hope. And
He still has his suite at the stadium. He donated his suite to a children's hospital in the
that.
area, so they use it all year to bring kids to the game.
yeah, awesome by him. I think Andrew Luck.
Well, he's done. And he didn't even want to go to the games. The guy's finished.
Yeah,
He
I don't
donated
think
suite,
he
let him
wants
go.
to come back.
They
Injuries-
booed him.
Yeah.
If he does come back, he should make Indy get rid of him so he can go somewhere else.
Did you see
They
the
booed
trick?
him.
Did you see that trick play by a high school team? I believe it was in Texas.
Where they had 3 fast guys running together. And
Oh my goodness! Faked it here, faked it there, faked it here, faked it there, and you
Tackle everyone.
You can tell how fast those 3 players are because they had a position meeting in the end zone when they scored. So pretty cool. NormaTec comeback of the week. Who you got?
We'll go with Joe Burrow.
Why? I mean, comeback. What did he come?
Louisiana's own what school did he was somewhere else. That's why he's comeback player of the week. Was it Ohio State?
Yep.
Ohio, he was a quarterback in Ohio State. Quarterback room was packed, leaves. He goes to LSU. And not only does he go to LSU and dominate and go win the Heisman, everyone loves him. You watch him. It's fun to watch him play. But I just love that. Like, you go to Ohio State from 2015 to 2017, then you transfer, and now you're at LSU. You win the Heisman Trophy. You win the Davey O'Brien Award. You do all these things, and now you have your team with a chance to win the college football national championship. And I think it's an awesome story. And the only way it's not an awesome story is if Jalen Hurts wins the national championship, because then he will get the ultimate comeback player of the week, because he left Alabama, who played in the national championship, to come back and win the national championship. So we're holding out hope. But for right now, Joe Burrow.
He's been in the playoff, Jalen Hurts, 4 straight years.
Joe Burrow, though, he won the Heisman. So we have to give him comeback player of the week. Joe Burrow, congrats. They say forever you will eat free and do whatever you want in Louisiana. So do your thing, man.
Score update: New Orleans 24, Titans 21.
Ooh, we got a barn burner.
Titans scored a touchdown, making it close.
Cincinnati scored?
Yep, 28-12, but Cleveland still
They
down
kicked the field goal.
21-9.
How about the Colts? 24-6 over the Panthers.
Yeah, a lot going on.
Where's Cam Newton when you need him?
Lost and won the weekend. I'm going to start it off, and I'm going to go who lost the weekend. Dion Waiters lost the weekend.
Suspended for 10 games. Detrimental
Conduct detrimental to the team.
So, but they didn't really say what he did.
Took a sick leave. Not feeling well. Can't come into that. Stomach bug, flu symptoms, whatever you want to call it. Later on, posted a picture. He's out on a boat. Out on the boat.
Maybe that cures him.
Oh, I know you're not going to agree, because you didn't want me to give Le'Veon Bell when he was bowling strikes the night before the game that he was ruled out.
Well, Dion Waiters is a little different, because they said he took an edible and had to stop. So he's been going through a lot right now in Miami. So maybe Miami needs to let him go. Give him a fresh start.
Fresh start?
Fresh start. They didn't really prioritize him. He doesn't like, they got none in there.
I don't think he's prioritizing him either.
They got Jimmy Butler. What is he supposed to do? He's a scorer.
Well, conversely to that, the 49ers won the weekend, and not because they won the game and they beat the Rams and sent them fishing for the remainder of the season, but because they dedicated their game. Backup quarterback CJ, I want to say his last name right, Beathard. I think I said that right. Brother lost his life, fatal stabbing at a bar. I believe it was in Nashville.
The night before.
And Shanahan said he spent an hour with him the day before the game, and he was distraught. Obviously, your family goes through a shocking loss like that, and on the way out said that just to tell the guys, man, win this game tomorrow. And they went out there and they did that. And to win that type of game and dedicate it to your brother, and that goes back to kind of that football is family thing. And
yeah, that was special, man.
Sports can bring that to people, in the midst of going through some of the toughest things you'll go through in life. When you have people that you care about and that care about you to lean on, it's an incredible feeling. So shout out to the 49ers, Kyle Shanahan and those guys for dedicating that game to their quarterback, CJ.
And please, man, I love the different people hitting us up with pictures of a Christmas tree, people subscribing,
the reenactment, the commencement speech. That was pretty cool.
I will, the next time we're in here on set, I will have all the jerseys here with us on set, and then we'll be mailing them out to you. So we appreciate everyone.
Keep that hashtag going. Hashtag double coverage. You can hashtag double coverage, hashtag double coverage Xmas, whatever you please. Just hashtag double coverage.
And don't forget to subscribe. We will not just be picking people in one group. We'll be picking.
Mama, we made it.
And you can't go wrong with if you do a reenactment and you subscribe. Picture your Christmas tree and subscribe, or if you just subscribe. So make sure you subscribe with it.
That's the main thing.
Can't wait to give away these jerseys, man. It's going to be awesome. Appreciate everybody's support.
More than an athlete. Could have went with Kyle Van Noy to Walter Payton Man
but we're tired of him.
He's already received it. Geno Atkins has been named the Week 15 NFLPA Community MVP. For his Atkins Week of Giving, a 7-day campaign that directly impacted 350 people in Cincinnati through holiday gifts, donations, dental services, and charitable events.
That's awesome.
So shout out to Geno Atkins, a guy who's been in Cincy dominating for years.
You don't want to mess with him.
Obviously dominating in the community as well. Before we head out of here, reminder, you can find the audio version right there at iTunes. You can go find
Tell your mama, we made it.
You can find the video version on YouTube. All you have to do is search Double Coverage with the McCourty Twins. And after you do so, please do not forget to subscribe.
Subscribe.
Before we head out as well, shout out to the partners, Boston Medical Center, Embrace Kids Foundation, and also NormaTec Recovery System. See you guys after Christmas. So, of course, we have to say to you today, Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays to whatever you believe in and whatever goes on, whether it's Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. Happy holidays to everyone.
Enjoy it. You want to sing a song for him?
This Christmas.
Terrible.
You didn't like that? I thought that was good. What else was you on here? Oh, and if you get bored, look up. No. If you get bored, you want to hear one of the greatest Christmas stories, songs, DMX, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Reindeer. Come on. Go check
guys.
that out. You won't be disappointed.